Hey, it's your favorite educator, Rashida Roberts here at the CashFlow Convo, brought to you by Target-Financial.com, where we're talking about how to increase your cash flow and the crucial cash flow conversations about everyday finances with real people and real results. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Thanks for stopping by to get a dose of money motivation. Catch us every Thursday on your favorite podcast program. And don't forget to crush the like button, hit the keys, and leave us a comment. Tell us where you're from and share this episode with family and friends. Actually, go get your favorite drink and snacks right now and talk about this episode and start a combo of your own. Look, go to the CashFlowConvo.com to check out more of our resources and to be a guest on our show. We want to hear real stories, real questions, and real results from everyday folks and even some of our experts. Now, let's dive into the Cashflow Convo, where we target your mind and your money.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Rashida Roberts here with Target Financial, and I have some special guests in the house today, the Black Women Empowering Finances, who will be coming up in just a second. So I want to thank everybody out there. Make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead and leave us a comment. Say hello. Don't be rude if you're peeking in, right? And I'm glad to just be here. So I have some fabulous women in the business world of finance to help Black women empower Black women to do better in their businesses, but specifically looking at their finances. So we'll be talking about that today. They have us, not they, because I'm part of the group as well. But we're gonna go ahead and start off with what do I like to start off with? Boom. Let's see if I can get it to come up. Well, let's check it out. My rant of the day. It doesn't want to. Why my stuff don't want to work, y'all? But the rant of the day. All right, so the rant of the day. Y'all got to get some good music for that, right? So the rant of the day is, it's not so bad today, but today I just want to talk about your purpose. A lot of times my big rant is really coming from the heart. It's just really about how we operate without purpose. And that's a lot of times when we get in trouble. It's a lot of times that we're not doing what we need to do. And because we know, and we're everywhere, right? We name our kids without purpose. We send our kids off to college without purpose. And it was like, oh, they need to find their purpose. But, a lot of times people find their purpose early in life. If you actually dig deep and look back at your childhood, a lot of times your purpose lies there, but it's been knocked down. It's been muted. It's been cut and gutted out of you. But we try to feel, and as we grow up, we're operating without our purpose. We go to college, we spend 4 years trying to find our purpose, or at least that's what society tells us, right? You go to college, find yourself or whatever, and then you got $120,000 in debt. Is that finding your purpose? So, and a lot of times when we don't know what we're supposed to do, we don't know how we're supposed to show up in the world, we fill the void with so much stuff. That void is what gets us in debt, in emotional debt, in a financial debt, in spiritual debt, physical debt, our health, all of that. And so we need to really dig deep, go somewhere, sat down is what I like to say, sat down and find your purpose in life. And, for the people who out there who don't know what it is, and you're just searching, or you're not even searching, you're just filling your void with people and like music and food and toys, adult toys, big toys, like, cars and houses and a nice looking, foyer and dining tables and all kinds of stuff. We fill our life with all of that, and it means nothing. It's meaningless. It really is. Especially if you don't have anybody to share it with, especially if you're in loads of debt. Okay, money's not going to solve your problems if you don't already know within. And so that's my rant of the day. There's so much more that I could say about that. The last thing that I would say is that, how you show up in the world matters. Why you're showing up in the world matters. And until you find your purpose, you're going to waste money, you're going to waste time. And, it's just going to be a waste. And, that lands us in some very nasty and ugly places. So that's my rant of the day. I hope, however you do it, however you get there, to sat down with yourself, sat down with the man upstairs, God, and find your purpose. But you got to get silent. You got to get all the stuff out of your ears. The TV, the music, the television, everything. You got to get it all out and sit down, listen, study, meditate, all that good stuff. And then you can show up how you're supposed to be. You can walk the walk, and then your money can actually go where it's supposed to, so you can fulfill your purpose. I heard somebody say, money follows ministry. And I like that. And that, my friend, is the rant of the day. We're about to bring on our special guest. I'm going to introduce him in just 1 second. All right. Welcome. We have our lovely team here, Black Women Empowering Finances, with the 5 C's of business success. They have, y'all keep saying y'all, but I'm the host, even though I'm part of the panel. Look, okay, but I want them to feel like guests today. And so, Black Women Empowering Finances, we're going to be having a summit or a conference workshop on Saturday, August the 14th. And we need you guys to show up and get the help you need and listen to some good business advice. And you can get your questions answered as well. But I'm going to let each person introduce themselves. We have let me say it right. Tashia Singleton, who goes by Tasha, okay? And then we have Miss Joyce Chesley Hayward with Fusion for Business. And Tasha's business is TJS Solutions, okay, y'all? And then we have 2 other members who aren't here right now. They're probably off doing business stuff because we stay busy. This group definitely stays busy. So I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. We'll start with alphabetical order. So Joyce, with us.
Good evening. I am Joyce Chesley Hayward with Fusion 4, the number 4 business, and we help to maximize profitability for today's small business. So our focus is to make sure our small businesses operate like big businesses and that they are profitable. And so I know we'll probably talk more about what we're doing and how we're doing what we're doing with the conference, but my C with the 5 C's of success is consistency. And so we'll talk more about that as we go. But again, I'm Joyce Chesley Hayward. I'm a CPA. I've been in the financial arena for over 30 years, working in banking and public accounting, and then international business. And now I was in the U.S. for many years before I moved to Bermuda. And I'm now doing business in both Bermuda and the United States. And so I've worked in the government here in Bermuda as accountant general, and now have a business again, had a business in the States, now a business in the US and Bermuda, helping small businesses. So that's the thing I love to be able to do, is to help businesses to move to where they want to be. And the program I work with is called Profit Freedom, because I want businesses to have profit in their business so they can have freedom in their lives. It's a lot we can talk about that with the things I'm seeing these days with what is success, what is profitability. But the thing is it doesn't matter. It ties right into what Rashida was talking about. We have to know our purpose, and we have to make sure that what we're doing makes sense and that we have freedom in our lives. We have work-life balance. So That's me, Joyce Chelsea Hayward, CPA, Fusion for Business, and trying to help small businesses to maximize profitability.
All right. I love it. I love it. Excellent, y'all. And if you are watching, I see somebody said good evening, sisters. Hey, 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 out there. But Joyce, I'm telling you, when she spoke at my summit, and there were so many people who really wanted the information about, their businesses and helping starting their business. So when I tell you that the women on this panel are a wealth of knowledge, they are a wealth of knowledge. And God-fearing women, and really out here to help us, because the Black Women Empowering Finances is a nonprofit organization, and so we are really trying to give the information and help people. So definitely get with Joyce, Fusion for Business. All right, we're gonna bring up Miss Tasha here with TJS Financial Solutions, and she's gonna introduce herself, and then we'll all be back. Thank you, Miss Joyce.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. I am Tasha Singleton. I am the founder of TJS Financial Solutions, and we are here to help women business owners take control of their personal economy in life by helping them plan ahead for unforeseen events and create a predictable lifetime income. So I'm also the host of the podcast, The Secrets of Earning Money Show. I have over 2 decades of experience in the financial services industry, and I have trained thousands of people and employees of Fortune 500 companies and a Global 100 company. Now, our goal is to help business owners. We primarily focus on Black women business owners, women, and traditionally underserved communities. We are here to help you on August 14th. We will be giving you some information on all of the 5 C's so that you can be successful, and we will be answering your questions so you can get, of course, some free advice. And we'd love to help you become a success, because 88% of businesses do not earn $100,000 or more. So we are here to try and help businesses go into that profitability mark so that they can make at least 6 figures. If you're going to be in business, you might as well be successful. And that's what we're here to help you do. Thank you.
All right, and we are back with our fabulous team here. I didn't introduce myself, but guys, I am the personal finance person on the panel, because you guys know I'm always talking about ditching your debt, and I help singles and educators to ditch debt. That is my platform, y'all. I need y'all to get the debt out your life so that you can show up in the world and live a better financial life. And so I like something Joy said, but I can't put it right in the words that she said it. But we want that show up better in business so that our personal lives can just be so much better, right? And if you don't have a business yet, this is the place to be. You can get the steps on how to know what steps that you need in order to be successful in your business. And if you're in business, whether you're a newbie or experienced, sometimes some of us just hit the ground running and we started a business and we're like, 3-4 years down the line, you're making good money, but hey, you got to back up, right? You may have been leaving money on the table because you didn't have your taxes, right? You've just been saving those receipts in a shoebox. Guilty, #guilty, okay? And not that very many months removed. So it happens, but invite the right people in your life so you can get help. Now we have a look. I always say summit workshop. I need to get that right, but we have a workshop coming up, guys, August 14th, and we're going to be talking about the 5 C's of business success, and that is cash flow, credit, communication, consistency, and coverage. Each of us 5 women, lovely ladies, business women, will be covering one of those topics. And so, with the lovely business women that we have today, they're going to talk about their topics for a few minutes, and then we're just going to generally have a conversation and just let it flow. So, if you have a pen, piece of paper, they're going to try to, give you a couple of nuggets on what you can do. And then if you have any questions, put them in the comments area. We can see them when they pop up, and we can put them up here as well. So, all right. Well, our cash flow person is me, but I don't want. I've already been talking, so we'll go to Joyce because I know hers is somewhere in the middle there, and then Tasha's is the last one that we can see. So, Joyce, you want to tell us about your topic?
Sure. My topic is dealing with consistency. And some people wonder, well, how does consistency deal with the 5 C's of business? Well, in order to be profitable, you have to be consistent. Something you said, Rashida, about keeping track of receipts, keeping track of what you're spending. You have to make sure that you are consistent with lots of different things. So one of the tips that I will give is consistent with how you're spending every single dollar. One of the things I recommend is a program called Profit First, and it talks about assigning every dollar something to do. So, but one of those things that you should make sure you're assigning your dollars to do is paying yourself, paying your profit, and making sure, of course, that you pay your bills. But if you put profit first, we think differently about that equation that a lot of us learned in school: revenue minus expenses equals profit. We flip that around and we say revenue minus profit equals expenses, meaning that you have to live within your means. You're not gonna, I think you mentioned about buying things and having luxuries that you can't even enjoy with someone because you don't have a someone, or you're just buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff. Even in your business, you have to be consistent with assigning every dollar a task and a duty. If you make $100, decide $10, whatever is going to go to profit. Of course, you got to tithe $10, or if that's what your belief is. That's what my belief is, that we have to do things godly, but we have to be consistent, and then decide what we're going to do with that $80 that's left, and make sure that that's what you live within, that $80. And so it's about being consistent and deciding, this month, this is how I'm putting 5% aside for profit. Next month, 7% aside for profit. The next month, 10% aside for profit. Or it may have to be each quarter. A lot of businesses think that they can't be profitable in their first 3 to 5 years. I don't believe that that's true. If you set your business up right and consistently know what your numbers are, because that's the other tip, knowing your numbers as part of your consistency, making sure that you know what does it cost you to do what you do, whether it's selling a product or providing a service. There's costs. You have to know all of your costs and make sure all of your costs are covered. A lot of times that we think that we're providing a service and, oh, it's just my time. Well, you've got a cell phone, you may have insurance, you've got transportation, gas, you have all these expenses in addition that you need to make sure you're covering your costs. So my C is consistency, and I will say to assign a task to every dollar and make sure you know your numbers. So those are a couple of things I would give.
So Joyce, I heard you say revenue minus profit. Can you explain, just in case somebody doesn't know, what revenue versus profit is? Because actually, look, transparency, I had to look it up. My background is not in accounting. And so that was something that I looked up the other day. I was trying to fill out an application. I was like, well, I don't think my revenue is my profit. So let me make sure I know what the verbiage is.
Thank you for that, because yes, I definitely want to make sure it's clear with that. So revenue, and some people call it income, because, and I will just say, for nonprofits, quite often we say revenue. For income generating companies or profit making companies, they quite often use the word income, but they're the same thing. Revenue and income are what you bring in. That top line when you're doing financial statements, when someone says, how much did you make? Not how much did you keep, how much did you make? So if a client pays you $100, your revenue is $100. Now, you may have expenses off of that. And let's say buying a pair of jeans. If you go in and buy a pair of jeans that cost $100, the revenue is $100. Those jeans may have cost them $10 to make. And then they may have, so that's what they call cost of goods sold. So then there's $90 left. And so that $90, then you have expenses off of that. You paid salaries to people, you had to do other things, whatever. So let's say all of the things to make that company go cost another $50. So there's $40 left. That's the profit. So we started with $100, $10 was the cost of the jeans, then another, I think I said $50 was, so that's $60. So $40 is left, and that's the profit. So what a lot of people will do is say, okay, 90 minus 10 minus 50, now I have $40 left. What you may want to do is say, I made $100, let me put aside $10 of every 100 I get and call that my profit first. And this is really cash profit. This is like putting some savings aside to say, I'm going to put this money away to grow my business, to give myself a dividend at the end of the month or quarter or year, because we often as solopreneurs, people who are solopreneurs, quite often we don't take care of ourselves first. And so we end up getting burnt out and we have nothing to show for it. And we are our most important, we're our most valuable employee. So we have to think of taking care of ourselves first. We want the business to continue on. So revenue and income is that money that you bring in, and then what you spend off of it are your expenses, and what's left is your profit.
Right, that's good. You know what? Because I mean, I'm always talking about paying yourself first in personal finances, but when you get to business, it's like, oh my gosh, especially when you're first starting off, you never really think about paying yourself first because you're just trying to pay all the bills and the expenses. And so your turnover is like right back into the business, like everything's going right back into the business. But it is, I think like that's a really great concept to think about, is to, in business as well, pay yourself first and then make that your profit, because a lot of people get lost in the sauce by spending the cash flow. And when you don't have any cash flow, what happens to the business?
Exactly. And one of the things that we do, like you said, is we start paying our bills. But if we find that we are having trouble paying our bills, then something's not in balance, meaning that we either are not bringing in enough revenue or we're spending too much in our bills. Right. And that's where a lot of people say, well, I can't start out right away making money, but you have to plan for that. That's the consistency. If you know your expenses are going to be $500 a month because you have phone and say, let's say you're paying a little bit of rent and you have some supplies, you've got to make at least $1,000 if you're going to pay yourself a salary and have some profit. You know, 500, making 500 is just breaking even. And if anything, heaven forbid, happens, like you are using a phone and that phone breaks or something happens, then you have nothing to fall back on. So quite often that's the thing that we're not consistent with. We're not consistent with looking at what does it cost us to really do the business that we're doing? What does it cost us to sell that product or to provide that service, so that we are not just breaking even, but have money left over. It shouldn't be that we're just on that treadmill of paying bills, paying bills, paying bills.
Man, that's good stuff. I mean, I think a lot of good, just new entrepreneurs, even I wouldn't even say new, just some people just need to hear some of this information so that they can really go back and run their businesses, because I know in our personal finances, a lot of people don't set up emergency funds, but taking that 10 or whatever it is off the top and putting it in an area that could be an emergency fund for business, because
exactly.
Anything can happen, like a pandemic, and somebody I collaborate with in Clubhouse, we do a show called Money Power Reflect every Tuesday, and she's millionaire she's a millionaire, but she was like, man, the pandemic really had me scared, like, because the moratorium, she owns a lot of real estate, and the moratorium laws that are in place, she was like, my people can't pay, so what's gonna happen to me? Like, they still asking for the bills from me. So she was like, she was just glad that she had the reserve money set up so that she can actually pay the mortgage and then collect that, once, they were able to pay, and when those laws expire, which is just about to happen, right? If they haven't already. So, man, I mean, it's just so much to think about. And like, I'm so focused in my personal finances that my business finances be like, oh Lord Jesus, I need some help over here. I need a CPA, all the DPA, TEA, all the little letters.
All the letters. But it's so true that we do have to think of, having a reserve, and for the businesses that work with the Profit First program, most of them were fine during the pandemic because they had a reserve. They had an emergency fund. Like we say, 3 months or 6 months of your salary. Well, you should have 3 to 6 months of your corporate bills, your business bills set aside ahead of time. That's what our goal should be, so that, it's set aside an account that we don't touch. Not an account with an ATM card attached to it, or, checks attached to it, but like in a savings account that you aren't going to go and get easily. So yeah, those are some things to definitely do, and be consistent, that you're going to put it away and you're going to do it every single time, and you're not going to touch it. Those are the kinds of things about being consistent.
Yep. And the good thing about last year is, even though like you have the businesses, you have your emergency fund, but this is why business is so good, because those grants that went out last year to real, I'm not talking about the people who were playing around and getting them, but the people who really have businesses, they got some grants in order to sustain, their business throughout. And when you look at the stimulus checks that you got, what was like a total of $3,200 versus you could get $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 in grants that you don't have to pay back because of the pandemic. And this is why I tell people, your business, after some other stuff, is one of your best assets, because the government will protect the businesses. Now, a lot of times it's big business over the small business. So we're out here trying to help these small businesses to stay in business. So if you don't have a business, guys, make sure you register for the event August 14th, Black Women Empowering Finances. You just heard from Joyce Chesley Hayward. Before we go to Tasha, I just want to ask you, okay, so your word is consistency, right?
Yes.
So give us what are your top 2 ways on how people can be consistent in this? Because it's good enough to say it, but like, what does it take to remain consistent when you got the dog and the husband and the gerbil, the class gerbil, and to take care of, and all of that, and the kids?
Which ones will I have an acronym that's best, but I would.
They can't get all of it. They got to get the rest at the.
Yeah, I know they got to get that on the 14th. But I would say having a team or tribe or people around you that are going to support you and encourage you when you need it. And sometimes those team or tribe may have to help with the dog, or help with the children, or just help out, sometimes, or just a vent, or give you encouragement, or smack you on the face, not smack you in the face, smack you, say, on the knuckles is what I was thinking, and wake you up and say, like, you're taking on too much. Say no to the next thing that comes up. You can't say yes to everything. I'm not one that believes in striving all, working all night long and having no work-life balance. I will say I've been there, done that, but I realize that's not really you shouldn't get yourself in that habit. Yes, sometimes we do what we have to do, but that shouldn't be the norm. So have a team or tribe, but the other thing is being organized. That's the PROFIT, the O in profit is dealing with being organized. I know, hashtag me, it's me. I know what you said earlier, hashtag, I've been there, done that. But being as organized as possible, especially for solopreneurs, people who are doing it all themselves. To be consistent, you have to decide what you're going to do and do it. Decide you're going to do it and do it. That's the B in my best is believe in yourself. Believe you can do it, but do it. If you say that every day you're going to do your blog post first thing in the morning, or you're going to check your Facebook and LinkedIn, do it, but do it for a certain period of time. Don't realize 2 hours later that you're still doing that. And if you're going to make calls for a certain period of time, do that. Organize yourself and as they say, do the big rocks. Do the big things that you know are important first, and then let that other stuff trickle in. We quite often like to do the stuff that's fun, but we end up taking half the day doing that stuff, and we really need to get something else done. And I'm speaking to myself, but I have gotten to that point where it's like, get the big stuff done and be consistent. Be consistent doing that. Decide to be organized. So have some people around, a team, a tribe, people that are going to help you, encourage you, support you, help you when you need help, and then being organized.
Awesome. Some great nuggets. I'm going to leave it right there. Great nuggets. Okay. Some of y'all got hit in the heart, dagger. I already know, that's stuff that I talk about in my book too, but you could talk about it all day long. If you're not doing it and showing up, then it's don't mean anything. Knowledge means nothing if it has no action behind it. So I understand that. Awesome. Thank you, y'all. She's still here, but I need y'all. If you're watching the replay, make sure you comment, ask questions, and tag us. Okay. All right. Tasha is going to come up and tell us about her word and give you guys a few nuggets on it. There you go. You go.
Hello. Hi. And my word actually is coverage. So what we do when we get in business, a lot of us, the last thing we think about is covering ourselves, purchasing some insurance. We're so excited about starting a business, and many of us start our business on a shoestring budget. So insurance is the last thing we think about. And insurance is one of the main things we need to think about, because one of our biggest exposures is called people, right? So when you have a business, you have people, you have you as the business owner, you have your clients, and then you sometimes have employees, right? So one area that you have to really make sure you have insurance for, it's going to be the people. Then the other thing that you have as a business owner is called property, right? You have some type of business property. You have a computer. You have flash drives. You have printers. You have maybe you're a contractor, so you have tools, or you have a truck, auto. So you have property. Those are important, because when you're using your personal vehicle for business, there's no coverage for it. So have you taken the time to find out if there's a way you can buy additional coverage if you're using your personal vehicle, so that you can be covered when you go and you use it for your business? Or maybe you're just purchasing you have a business vehicle only, but you still use it for personal use. Well, have you taken the time to speak with your agent to find out whether or not you've purchased the additional coverage so that you can use it for personal? Because anytime we're providing you coverage for something, if it's a business policy, then it only covers your business use of it. If it is a personal policy, which you use in your everyday life, then it's only covered for personal use. So one of the things we must understand, our personal lives and our business lives intersect these days, especially with us working from home. Proper coverage is essential. It is essential, because if you are not covered properly and there is a claim, then what happens? It may not be covered. Let's think about this. Today, we are connected by the internet. How many of us have checked our policy or added the additional coverage for cyber? How many of us could run our business without email today, without a website? How do we contact our clients? How do we sign things now? Well, guess what? Ransomware is on the rise, right? Someone taking over your computer and saying, pay me this, or you lose everything. Where are you going to get that money from if you haven't taken the time to find out about the coverage that's there? The average small business pays about $10,000 for one of those cyber claims. And how many of our small businesses normally keep $10,000 on the side? Not if you're not in the Profit First program. Many of you don't have that. But even what if you're just starting out? You may not have that there. So this is where coverage becomes essential. What about when you go to one of your clients' homes or place of business and you accidentally, let's say you break something that's valuable? This is where your liability coverage is going to come in at. Coverage is really important because you never know what's going to happen. And it's always better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. It is so very important. And what about the people who work for you? If you have an employee and they slip and fall, well, while they're on the job, when they go home while they're recovering, they're still going to need to do what? Receive a paycheck, right? So this is where your workers' compensation policy is going to come in. Whether you have one employee or more, that is something that you really want to look at. For yourself as well, if you're an active business owner where you actively go work in your business, just like an employee, instead of just working in the office. If you're actually, let's say you're a roofer and you actually get up on the roof and you replace the roof, if you fall off the roof and while you're working, you can no longer work, but you don't have workers' compensation policy covering you, where's your income going to come from? How is your business going to continue? So it's something that we have to look at. We have to plan for the unexpected, the unforeseen events. And that's what coverage is here to help you do. And we're here to help you figure out what is essential. The one policy that's essential to all businesses is liability, because no matter what, we have a liability. If you have people, you're responsible for something. You never know what's going to happen. You're responsible for the person that's working for you. You're responsible to your clients who may be upset with you and think that you didn't do a good job and wants to sue you, right? So as long as people are involved, coverage is essential. Can we cover you for everything? No, but we can find out as much as we can about your business to make sure that you are provided for. Now, also as a business owner, which many of us don't do, is we don't plan for business succession, for what's going to happen to our business when we're no longer here. Now, that's essential, because if you have employees, it's not just about you. Once again, it's about your employees as well as you. And it's also about the family members that you leave behind if you are the person whose income pays for most of the bills. So proper planning is essential. And this is where your business life insurance would come in. Proper planning is essential as well for you to continue your business. If you were the roofer that fell off the roof and you had business overhead insurance, guess what? You would have to worry about your business continuing, because business overhead would provide for your rent, for your utilities, all of those business expenses that you would normally deduct. It wouldn't pay you income, but that's where you would have workers' compensation or a personal individual disability policy. So that way you could continue on. Insurance is essential to helping you have a predictable lifetime income, to help you have an income when the unpredictable happens, and to make sure that you, your family, and your employees are protected, and make sure that you are there for your clients as well. All right.
Look, this insurance is, to me, like the toughest area, because it's already hard in a personal life. But man, that is such a great point when you think about cyber attacks, and not even just cyber attacks. Like what happens if something happens to the actual internet, the infrastructure, right? And it just goes down, and now you can't run your business. What happens then? What happens if, something blows and now everything's off? When we in Houston, we always have to be alert. I say I'm gonna get a satellite phone, but when we have those hurricanes and everybody's, trying to get here and there or whatever, sometimes that throws out the network and you can't get to anything. And so, so we do have to really think about that. And that was just one thing that you mentioned, just one way that, we need to get protection for our businesses. So that is just so true, because the days of knocking on doors and, like doing different stuff that's like that we normally would have done years ago is not the same. So, man, that's a really great thought. But a lot of people, we don't get coverage. Why don't we get coverage? Why?
Because we think of it as an expense as opposed to an investment. Just like you buy auto insurance, you buy homeowners insurance or renters insurance, you need to make sure you take the same care in buying all of the coverages that you need for your business. Property insurance, liability insurance, and commercial auto insurance. And even if you don't have a commercial vehicle, you still need to check with your personal agent to add the additional fee so that you can have coverage for your business when you're driving your vehicle.
Because if you're on the actual business route, it's deductible. You get that mileage. But even your insurance is an expense, a deductible expense, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So look, y'all better get in the know. I'm telling you, you leaving money on the table when you don't have things in place with CPAs like Miss Hayward down there and insurance agents. Look, now, first of all, Tashaya has been, she's versed in so many things. She done used to do taxes, all kind of stuff. So you telling me she's trying to make sure nobody leaves money on the table. I learn something every time I talk to these ladies, because I consider myself the newbie. So I love it. But the coverage, look, okay, I'm gonna make sure I get me some coverage, y'all, by the end of the year for business. I'm not making much, but heck, it's going on the expenses are going on my Schedule C. So let's go ahead and just add it, because for what I'm doing right now, I can blow that easily every monthly, how much it would cost me insurance eating a taco, so
and that's another thing. We overestimate how much the insurance is going to cost us. If you're a small business, you can get a business owner's policy, a BOP, as we call it, for starting as low as $500 for the year. It just depends on the type of business you are. It's not that expensive, but not every business, small business qualifies for a BOP. So you do have to spend time talking to us so that we can get to know you and your business to see what is actually needed for your business, so we can cover you properly.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are just scared too, just to talk, because you already come to the table like, you don't want to spend anything, or you're in the habit of thinking, well, I don't have the money to pay for this or whatever. Like, where is it going to come from? Out of my business funds or whatever it is. And so you don't want to feel like you're pressured into anything. And that just means, to me, I feel like, because knowing myself, you just don't have, your no is not strong enough. Who you are and how you show up is not strong enough. Your networking is not strong enough, and just it's a little bit of self issue going on. So you got to talk to people. Okay, just find out the information and be okay with just saying no and walk away. Look, if you really got a problem, leave your purse, all of that somewhere else. Okay, leave your friend in the car with your purse and your credit cards or whatever, so that way you can't sign up. But that, to me, I always say, even in my book coming up, I say, like, when you're going to see any type of advisor, just go, your first time there, go get the information first. Don't make any decisions. Then you can, chew on it. Then after you've thought about it and you make sure you understand what it is that you want to get into, then go back the next time and walk in the door with the decision. Don't let the person who's trying to, I wouldn't say sell, but that's part of their job, sell you. Just, because I talked to you, and I've talked to a couple of other insurance agents, and it's been great information. Great information, y'all.
So a lot of times, people who are in the finance world, they cross over. They know different stuff. So it's really, man, I mean, I'm telling y'all, in the past few months, my life has leveled up just being around just the wealth of knowledge. And so then none of them have tried to sell me anything, y'all. And I need that. Look, I need all of their services to just put a sister together. Okay, if you think about Charlie's Angels, that's the Black women's empowering finances. Like seriously, if you got them, that's your group right there, and they can just whip you into shape. And you know what? Look, we're doing it right now. I'm letting y'all know we need to get all of that together so that we do have that mentorship program, because to go from this person to this person to this person, because the wealth of knowledge on this panel is just that powerful. And but coverage is the one thing in just our personal community, our culture, that we don't get. And in businesses, a lot of small business, I was reading an article, don't have insurance.
It's true.
And because things happen all the time, and you need to make sure you're protected.
It doesn't hurt to ask. All you have to do is pick up the phone and set a time with someone to sit down and speak with you so that they can learn more about you and your business. Conversations don't cost anything. They're free. So, but you have to be willing to ask. And many people are scared, or they say, oh, well, I don't have the money. But maybe you don't have the money now, but there's no telling how much money you'll have tomorrow. It only takes one client. It only takes one client. And just like it only takes one claim. So you have to think about it. One client, one claim. You can lose everything without insurance. Take the time to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So at least you know what you need.
That's good. And, a lot of times we say we don't have the money. Well, a lot of us in business don't even know if we have the money or not, because we're not tracking it. Like Joyce told us, like, we're not tracking it, right? We don't have our sheets at the end of the month. We can't tell you what we gained, what we lost, what is the cash flow looking like. We don't have those numbers at all. And so, you do risk assessment and loss, and everybody on this board can look at and go, if you sit down with someone, can look at your finances to see if you are losing money somewhere. Where else can you streamline the process so that, you might be spending for several different things when you could be using one service to take care of 3 or 4 different things. And so that's why it's so good with talking with other people, because they can see outside. Businesses that want to scale and grow, they'll come in and get a industrial organizational company to come in and revamp their whole company. So you gotta, think bigger than outside of yourself. We cannot do it alone. We shouldn't do it alone. But I just believe our society has taught us to be so independent that we're really, it's not doing us justice at all. We weren't born to be alone. Otherwise you just would have appeared out of nowhere. Okay. And then, what's the laws of thermodynamics? There's energy is not wasted or whatever. It's just merely transferred. Like, you got to have something in order to transfer. Like, all of this stuff is connected. The whole world, I just feel everything is connected. And so we need to connect with other people to help you grow, to help you be solid in your business, and just everything. All of it works. So, all right, ladies. Well, this has been great. Look, y'all, we have a workshop coming up on August the 14th, 2021. It is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So that means if you're in the Central Time, that's 9 a.m. Get on up. You're a business person. That's a little sleeping in right there. Okay, we let you sleep in. So get on up, get your notebook, but also come with your questions so that you can know where you need help. Okay, and you can go ahead and register at www.blackwomenempoweringfinances.com. Look down below, you'll see the link there. It'll take you to an Eventbrite, and that will, sign yourself up. It's a free event. So
Yeah. All right. Look, hold on. We had some questions or some comments here. Sometimes you feel fearful of being taken due to the ignorance on the subject and options available. Ooh, that's good. Sasha, you want to speak on that?
Yes. Well, first off, you shouldn't feel like you're being taken advantage of, but you should also be able to talk to the person and ask questions. So some of us give webinars and we educate people there, or we give seminars, because I'm one that gives webinars and I give seminars. My goal is to educate people on the not just the insurance, but just overall to help you better protect your business overall. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with your answers, or the person doesn't actually talk to you, then at that point, it's time for you to go search for someone else that you do feel comfortable with. Because as we know, you only do business with people you know, like, and trust. You may not know them, but if after having a conversation with you, you decide that, hey, I like them, I trust them, I like to know more, then that's a person that you should be taking the time to use as your agent or your insurance professional.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when we go in cold, you're gonna feel like that, like you're gonna get taken advantage of anyway. It's like going to the car place. You don't know them, so your guards are just up. I mean, I just think we've been traumatized as a community, though. You know, like so many people have taken advantage, and so I mean, and even now, look, I'm telling you this story. I know someone who then they work in finances, right? They talk about finances. They went into a car place and it was predatory. They tried to give somebody their son who had over a 750 credit score good. I mean, now, and then they still tried to lowball them with 11%, 13% interest rate. And they was like, are you crazy? They had to leave. I mean, I think they went down to maybe like 11%, 9%. They had to get up and leave and walk out the door for them to come back with like 3%. But you see, like, if you don't know, because a lot of times when you're working with people that you don't know, you do have to come in with some type of information, or even come in with questions. If you come in questions and like, and just Google it, like questions to ask an insurance agent, questions to ask a new CPA, okay? Questions to ask a financial advisor, and you can read articles on what are some good questions to ask so that you don't feel like you're getting taken advantage of, because I know that is a thing. I mean, it is a thing.
I would recommend, as opposed to the questions to ask, because each person's situation is different, because your needs are as unique as your fingerprint when it comes to insurance. No one person is exactly the same. So based on your specific circumstances, what I would do is, if you want to be well researched, there are books out there. You can go and go to the library or purchase, Insurance for Dummies. There's information there, or you can Google it, like you said, but you really want to stick more to your specific situation. If you have a flower shop, you want to say, okay, let me go in here. What insurance should I be looking for as a flower shop? Or what are my risks as a flower shop owner? You want to be more specific to your industry, what you're doing. That is going to help you the most when you're speaking with an insurance professional, or even a financial professional. You need to make sure, like, because you still have to deal with accountants. I mean, we're all intertwined. You still have to deal with lawyers. So whatever you're doing, take the time to say, okay, if I'm going to find a professional to help me with my business, let me see what I should expect from each of those professionals based on what my risk is for my business. That makes you more educated. And so you don't have to feel afraid or feel like you're being taken advantage of.
Right. Good. Excellent. You got to do what's great for you, what's most comfortable for you. There were some other comments there on the same lines. Have to take a breather and review all the info options. Yep. Or even knowing when it's time to hire, to free ourselves to be able to do much more business and scale up. And then someone just typed this. It says, never make a decision without answers, review, and second opinion prior to contracting. Thank you, ladies. Well, thank you. We appreciate your comment.
and being here today. We only have a few more minutes. Look, guys, I want you guys to make sure that you register for the event. I'm going to show the flyer real quick, and then we're going to come back with some last tips from each of our ladies. I know I didn't talk about cash flow, but y'all got my commentary. You can get it you can get it on Saturday, August the 14th. So we'll be right back. All right, y'all. Well, we are going to end here. We got about 2 to 3 minutes left. And so any last nuggets on the 5 C's of business success that we're going to be presenting? I'll let Joyce go first. Any last things that you want to say to encourage our users to come out and get some good information?
I would say this has just been the tip of the iceberg. It will be time well spent. It is free. And so I would say definitely, if you're thinking about being in business, if you're in business, if you just like to get some more information, if you have any family or friends in business, please, please, please come and register blackwomenempoweringfinances.com. Please come. Let other people know about it. Consistency in your business. We're going to talk about a lot more on that. So we definitely want you to get all that you can get. This is free information, and knowledge is power. And as Rashida said, once you get information, you have to do something with it. So you'll get some tips that you can take away with you, that you can have something that will help you in your business, in your potential business, and even in your life. There are tips that I'll be giving that are not just for the business, but for the person, because I'm looking at the business owners, and not just the business, but the owners, because it's the people that run the business. So definitely come out, bring your friends, tell anybody that you know that's in business. And it's not just for women, it's for anyone in business, but we are Black women, and we want to help you empower your finances.
Love for you all to come out and see us on August 14th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Black Women Empowering Finances presents the 5 C's of Business Success. We will be talking about communication, cash flow, credit, consistency, and coverage. Many businesses, whether you are just starting out or you've been in business for a while, we all may need a refresher, or we may actually need to learn something new, because many of us do not utilize credit or even know how to obtain business credit so that we can grow and scale our businesses. And some of us just need a little help to be a little bit more organized, because organization is key for consistency. It is key to make sure that you're properly covered. It is key for communication. Everything that you would need to help you to be more successful in your business will be available to you at the Black Women Empowering Finances, the 5 C's of Business Success. There are 5 of us financial professionals. We will help you in your business, and we will also give you personal financial advice as well. Because as a business owner, you're the business and you are a person. As I said, people, you are our number one priority. There's people anytime you have a business. You can't have a business without people. You need a person as a business owner. You need a person as or people for your clients and for your employees, or maybe the independent contractors that you work with. Because instead of having employees, you work with other independent contractors, which are small business owners. So come out, take this opportunity to ask your questions in an environment where you're not going to be pressured. You don't have to worry about whether or not you have your wallet with you and you're going to be pressured and when you have to run away and then come back at another time. this is the perfect opportunity to get all of your questions asked and to learn a little bit more about those 5 C's to help you propel your business to the next level. So thank you. We look forward to you coming out. Please remember to go to blackwomanempoweringfinances.com to register for free. Can't wait to see you there.
You guys can't hear me. This has been Rashida Roberts here with the CashFlow Convo Podcast-Show. All right. You just heard from Tasha Singleton and Joyce Chesley Hayward with the Black Women's Empowering Finances. Make sure you go out and register. We did have a couple more comments here. Hold on. I had a comment to come in. Awesome. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for these gems and see you on the 14th. Awesome. We love it. That just brings joy to my heart. Because guess what, guys? Even if you are in business and some things that never be the smartest person in the room, right? Now I'm usually like the nerdiest person in the room, raising my hand, asking questions, giving comments. People are probably like, but don't be like me, okay? Try to sit back and listen because you may pick up something else or you may be reminded of something else. And then you can always connect with people and collaborate. So that's the beauty of these things. And what I like is that it's only 2 hours and it's actually really an hour. And the last hour is for you all to really ask questions. So however much you ask questions and engage, that's how long we'll be there. And so 2 hours is a good enough time so that you won't get bored and you'll have a good experience so that, we can come back more and answer your questions. So we thank you for registering. We thank you guys for coming out. Again, I'm Rashida Roberts with Target Financial. This was the CashFlow Convo Podcast-Show. Visit us at www.thecashflowconvo and also go register for the Black Women Empowering Finances at blackwomenempoweringfinances.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, Black Women Empowering Finances, and the Black Women Empowering Finances group. It's the same all across the board, okay? I will make sure, I think I put it in the description, but if I didn't, I'll make sure I add it down there. So give us a like, give us a follow, and give us a share. Bring someone along, okay? Each one, teach one, reach one, all of that. All right. This is a new era that there are people going from zero to heroes in this era right now. Like seriously, the wealth is being transformed and put into different hands at this time. So we need your business to be solid. We need your business to have cash flow. We need your business to have communication. We need your business to have consistency. We need your business to be eligible for credit and use it properly. And we need your business to have coverage so all of that can take place. All right. So we thank you. Peace and blessings to everyone out there. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today and taking the time out. And guys, last thing, even though it's free, what we value is your time because you can show up anywhere. Your money is one thing, but your time is your most valuable asset. So we thank you guys for showing up today, for the comments that you have made, and anybody watching this on the replay, we appreciate it. All right. Good night.
Good night. Thanks, Rashida. Thanks, Tasha.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.